Okay, this video is going to cover a few of the basics of what the code means in HTML when you set up a link. Hopefully with just a little bit of explanation, it can demystify it and make you a little less scared to go in and edit your HTML when you need to. So we're going to start by looking here at a nice basic bit of HTML code that would be set up if I set up a link to wayfair.com at the text Wayfair. So we're going to start with this little highlighted portion over here, a little yellow A. The A is called the start tag. This is the thing at the very beginning next to the little less than sign. That is always going to be the beginning of a piece of HTML code, which defines what's going to come next. It just gives it a purpose, it just sets up a role, and every link code is going to start with this A. Everything that comes after that does something different. So if we move over now to the href, this is an attribute. An attribute is something inside the HTML that gives a little bit more definition. You can call it an attribute, you can call it an element, whatever it is. There are generally going to be between one and, well, many of these within each piece of code. The more you need to tell the code what to do, the more elements and attributes you're going to add. Now for a link, you always have to have an href because this is the one that gives the URL that your link will go to. Hrefs and attributes in general are set up in the same format, where we start with the identifying attribute, in this case href, followed by an equals, and then whatever it is we're trying to get across is within a set of quotation marks. So in this case, it's the URL that comes in the quotes. Notice we have straight quotes here going straight up and down, and all that we need to show up in those quotations is the URL. We use it to clearly define the beginning and the end of what we're trying to give the code. Finally, over here we have the end tag. This is just going to have the opening and close, a little backslash to say that the code is finished and we're done. In this case, we have the A to signal the end of the link element. So actually, let me go back quick 1 second. One thing we didn't address is right here, this code, in this case Wayfair, is actually the text. This is the text that will have the link on it. This is the text that you highlight to add the link to if you're not hard coding these. Okay, so this is a text with an extra attribute. In this case, the attribute is target equals quote underscore blank. The more attributes you add, the more information you give about your link. The target link you will probably see quite a lot if you look at your Compose or your HTML screen, because this is assigned to the code to open up this URL in a new tab or a new window. A lot of us like to do this because we want people to stay on our sites, but still be able to go to wherever it is we're telling them to go. This is another attribute one we have talked about extensively, the nofollow. The rel attribute is basically giving the relationship between the two sites, the site I am putting the link on and the site I am sending the link to. Nofollow is our piece of code that tells the search engines to ignore the link. This basically means that Google is not going to pay attention to the link for SEO purposes, and that's something that's important for us to do if we have been compensated in any way for this link. All you have to do to enter a rel equals nofollow is to put it between the URL and the end of the start tag, so this little closing greater than sign right here. Just don't interrupt any other attributes, and it really doesn't matter where you put it. A note, you may have noticed there's always a space between each part of the code. So make sure there's a space between the A and the href, another space between the URL and the nofollow. If we added a target equals blank, we would have a space in there too. You do not need a space before the end of the tag. And that's going to do it. This is the basic understanding of what goes into HTML code when you're setting up a link. You're really not going to see a whole lot that's different if you look at code on your site or on other sites, because these are relatively simple pieces of HTML. Thanks for watching.